Lining up now, we have the Mini GP 190s, Reece Stevenson from Pete Hickman, Jordan Rushby, Daniel Goodman, as they get underway into the first corner. So Stevenson leads, looks like Hickman in second place. And Mini GP 190/70, sponsored by Race Fasteners Pro Light, as Stevenson gets away. Hickman in second. Those two breaking away now from the rest of the field. Looks like Daniel Goodman still in third place. And there we see Hickman, looks like in second place. And the leaders now making their way around the last few corners, heading towards the start-finish straight. And as they cross the line, it's Reece Stevenson from Pete Hickman in second place. 50 seconds, really are picking up the pace, those top two riders. Daniel Goodman third, Jordan Rushby, Lee Jackson, Richard Cooper and Luca Hopkins. Third through to seventh place, having a great battle here. Looks like Goodman in third, Rushby, Jackson and Cooper, and Luca Hopkins on the 41, just a bit further behind, as down the inside, I think, goes Lee Jackson, moving up a place on the number 14. Some very close contact racing here. Can't afford to leave a gap anywhere as they head towards the dogleg hairpin. Stevenson still leading from Hickman in second place. Pete Hickman, of course, the fastest road rider there is, outright lap record holder in terms of speed at the Isle of Man TT. Which he can't do this year because it's been cancelled, of course, but good to see him along here, and I believe we'll be coming up to talk us through some of the races a bit later on as well. Can't do anything at the moment though about Reece Stevenson, who picks up the pace once again. The gap goes up to 1.6 seconds at the front. 49.06 is the fastest lap of the race from the 1-2-3 of Reece Stevenson, who still is there. He is. Stevenson into the dogleg hairpin, and that hairpin a lot tighter than it looks on entry. Hickman still there in second, keeping the pressure on. Third place, still the number 14 of Lee Jackson from Richard Cooper. Daniel Goodman and Jordan Rushby just a bit further behind. Rushby in sixth, and Luke Hopkins on the number 41 rounding out the field as the leading group make their way down the start straight into the first corner. And again, Stevenson pulls the gap slightly on Hickman, not by very much. There's not much in this one, and let's have a look at the lap times here. Hickman, I think, is the actual pace of the race is starting to pick up here, because Richard Cooper in fourth position on the 47 now, setting the fastest lap of the race with a 48.55. Hickman just closing the gap now on Stevenson. 9 laps to go in this Mini GP race. And Hickman just shadowing the back of Stevenson, now starting to put the pressure on. 8 laps to go. Stevenson leads, Hickman in second place. Hickman goes round the final corner. There he is on the number 60. Into the first corner, and the gap goes down again slightly, just by half a second. Less than 1 second now, covering Reece Stevenson and Peter Hickman, first and second place. These two riders now starting to break away from the rest of the field. And there we see Hickman. As we say, less than 1 second covering these riders. Still Lee Jackson and Richard Cooper battling for third place. Jordan Rushby, Daniel Goodman and Luca Hopkins running out the field. But Hickman starting to close all the time. A bit more aggressive under braking as they go past the pits into the right-hander. 7 laps to go next time round. Reece Stevenson has led the entire race, but Peter Hickman is really starting to apply the pressure as they cross the line once again, just eking another 1/10 of a second out of the lead. Reece Stevenson 48.82 last time round, number 1-2-3. There he is, your number 23, your race leader. Into the double apex right-hander Hickman, I should say, looking aggressive into the hairpin. Peter Hickman in second place on the number 60, and Hickman closing up all the time here. But Reece Stevenson still leads the race, and as they always say in racing, catching up is one thing, getting past can be another. Hickman is now all over the rear wheel of Reece Stevenson, but Stevenson knows he's there and will do all he can just to make that bike at the front, the number 23, as wide as possible. Hickman gets on the power out of the final corner. Pete Hickman into the first corner. Another 1/10 of a second out of the lead. Here we see just a bit further back the battle with Lee Jackson and Richard Cooper. Oh, down the inside. Oh, that was a brave move there from Richard Cooper, who incidentally sets the fastest lap of the race that time, 48.54. So the pace really picking up throughout the field in this one. There's the third place man now. Richard Cooper up to third. Lee Jackson now in fourth place, trying to fight back. Meanwhile, Hickman all over the rear wheel of Rhys Stevenson as they go past the pits and in towards the final few corners. They're just going so fast they've gone out of shot momentarily there. Jackson still on the back wheel of Richard Cooper, trying to retake that position. Meanwhile at the front, 5 laps to go. And Rhys Stevenson maintaining the pace at the front. This battle for third place though, Cooper and Jackson still neck and neck for third place. Daniel Goodman, Jordan Rushby and Luca Hopkins just a little bit further behind. And now it looks like Richard Cooper has maintained that third place and just pulling away slightly, but certainly Lee Jackson on the number 14 very much involved in this. These riders 6 seconds down on the leaders. Richard Cooper on the blue and white machine there, number 47 with the fastest lap of the race, 48.5. Set that 2 laps to go, 4 laps to go in this race. Still very close in that battle for third as they go through the hairpin. 4 laps to go as Stevenson leads, and still we see Lee Jackson on number 14 all over the back wheel of Cooper. Can't find a way through though as they go into the first corner. So first and second very close, less than a second covering those, and nothing at all between Cooper and Jackson, third and fourth. Daniel Goodman, Jordan Rushby and Luca Hopkins just a little bit further behind. Rushby just looking to see where he's gone. Not showing on the lap chart at the moment, so we may have lost a rider. Let's just keep an eye on that lap chart as the race goes on. Closing stages now of this Mini GP first race of the day, and Stevenson still leads from Hickman, 3 laps to go. There they go over the line, Hickman all over the back wheel, the gap increasing those slightly to 1 second, still nothing in it between those 2 riders, and a close battle. Here they are still in third place, Richard Cooper and Lee Jackson. Cooper again though setting the fastest lap of the race, 48.53 for the number 47 as he holds on to that third place. And Rhys Stevenson 23 pulling away slightly from Peter Hickman in second. I would say if those two had started battling for position, these 2 riders in shot now, Cooper and Jackson, they may have closed up. We could have had a 4-way tussle for the lead, but at the moment it's still quite steady between the top 2 riders. Maintaining a good pace as Richard Cooper, fastest man on the track, tries to pull away from the number 14 of Lee Jackson as we go into 2 laps to go. Jackson around the final corner, there's Cooper. And again, another fastest lap of the race for the number 47. There he is, just going around the first corner now. Richard Cooper again, fastest lap. 5.3 seconds down on the race leader. 2 laps to go. So realistically, unless anything drastic happens between the top 2 riders, then I think Cooper would have to settle for third. But he's trying his best to close up on none other than Peter Hickman in second place. 1.6 seconds down on Stevenson. And Rhys Stevenson, number 23, the race leader, as we approach the final lap, has done a great job here. He's got some very established competition behind him and has settled into rhythm and maintains the pace at the front as we head towards the final lap. There goes Stevenson, the race leader. Hickman in second. Stevenson nice and neat round the first corner, maintaining a good pace, and pulls away again from Hickman. The gap goes up to 2.1 seconds. And looking across the track, well, it's a bit late now, 1 lap to go, but I think Cooper is starting to close on Hickman with just over half a lap to go. And there is that great psychological thing, of course, when you see yourself closing up on the rider in front. Stevenson at the moment, barring disaster, is going to win this race. He pulls away from Hickman, but Hickman is starting to be closed on now by Cooper. I don't think Cooper's going to get close enough to go for a pass as Rhys Stevenson makes his way round the final corner. Checkered flag goes out, and Rhys Stevenson, great ride for him. punches the air as he goes across. He's pleased with that one, and who can blame him? Hickman in second has a glance over the shoulder. And Richard Cooper again, another fastest lap of the race, in third. He really was closing at the end there. Lee Jackson just tagging behind in fourth position. Running up the field is the number 1 of Daniel Goodman. Luca Hopkins in sixth, and we lost the 52 of Jordan Rushby. But what a ride from Reece Stevenson, number 23. Came under a lot of pressure from Peter Hickman. Held it off though and got into a groove, started to pull away. And he looks quite pleased with that one. Who can blame him, because that was a hard-fought, well-deserved race victory. Hickman in second. Richard Cooper, though, in third. Now, he'll be encouraged a bit later on because he really was the fastest man on the track in that second half of the race. So if he can get there with the leaders at the start in race 2 a bit later on, then perhaps he could be a factor for the victory, because he really was closing up on Peter Hickman towards the end of that race. So Mini GP drawing to a close. Some great action there in race number 1.